Hey guys, I do apologize if you hear any vibrations or anything. That's going to be a notification maybe from my mom via text message to let me know she got to work safe. But I wanted to come on here and talk about this because this has been hitting the news waves for the past couple of weeks, if not the past few months. And it's all because of the decision that was finalized last year by the McDonald's Corporation and the chairman and the board of directors. And that decision was to eliminate over the next 10 years the self-serving drink station. And the reason they want to do that mainly is to, I guess you could say, make it more efficient and more customer friendly or consumer friendly in the process or something like that. Basically, they want to make things more, I guess you could say, easier for the customer. Now, I know some people might say, upon hearing this news, when it started to come out or started to roll out, I know a lot of people watching this are probably like, how does it make it easier for the customer if we got to go up to the counter and ask for a free refill, knowing that they might get busy? That is basically, in my opinion, part of the financial strategy. Because they know that if they're rolling this out, they know customers aren't going to be happy, and instead of basically always having to get up and ask for a refill, they're going to want to go for the larger drink and thus the larger menu item. That's the plan. It's all part of strategy. Basically make them, want to go for the larger drink, the larger cup, if you will. Thus, by extension, go for the larger. I guess you could say, meal. Go for the larger meal. I'm trying to find the right word to say. So in other words, it'd be like, go for, I don't know, that password. Let me see. Here we go. Be very careful with this. And that was a notification from my mom. Again, I do apologize. But it'd be like going for something like this, going for something like this. And thus, by extension, going for the larger meal. That's basically one strategic reason that they're doing this. Because they know the more you spend, the more profit it makes for them. And they know families are going to do it because kids love McDonald's. They love it more. I'm just trying to take the time here. They love it more than they do Burger King. And that's an obvious fact. I used to, and here's the thing. I used to work for Burger King back in the early to mid 2000s. So I can understand that people love having the self-serving fountain machine around. It's very convenient. You don't have to wait in line and so on. But the question is, why are they getting rid of it outside of strategically, forcing, unbeknownst maybe to, customers, forcing them or making them want to buy the larger meal with the larger fountain drink? Why are they doing this? Is it to make things more customer friendly, more convenient, if you will, more, I guess you could say, moderate and more efficient? That might be true. That might be true. But I also think there's another reason. It's a reason that I've experienced as an employee at Burger King and as a customer. That reason being the fact that there are some people that will go into the restaurants, whether it's McDonald's, whether it's Burger King, Taco Bell, Wendy's, Carl's Jr. / Hardee's, you name it. They will go into the fast food restaurants and they will, basically ask for a cup of water. And as a courtesy, the employee will give them a cup of water about this size. Even Starbucks does it. But here's the thing, though. Starbucks doesn't have a refilling machine, right? They don't. Unless they start doing that in the future, they don't. But McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, Carl's Jr. / Hardee's, and many others, they do have a refill machine. Even some of the regular restaurants like Denny's, and IHOP and so on, they, and and even some of the buffets out there that are not nationally known, more regional known, like the Fruit Vineyard in Modesto and such. They have, they might have, I should say, not do have, but they might have their own self-serving fountain area. And that's cool. That's great. Very convenient for the customers. But why do I bring this up as probably a reason? Well, because a lot of folks that will go in there and just ask for a glass of water will either go back outside, wait in the shade, zip the water, and then when they start seeing that the customers are coming in and making it busy and very distracting for the employees, what do you think they're going to do? They are going to go back inside themselves and noticing that the employees are busy with customers and the orders, they'll go over, undetected, they'll go over to the fountain drink or the self-serving fountain area, and they will open up the lid and they will pour themselves a cup of, let's say, Fanta, or a cup of Coca-Cola, or Pepsi, or Mountain Dew, or whatever. Then they'll put the lid back on and they'll go out the exit, probably, on the other side, or slowly, make their way back to where they came in and go out that way. So that way, in the process, I'm trying to say, they end up getting a free soda without paying for it, even if it's a small one. And here's the thing. These people seem to forget, and I think customers do seem to forget this, a lot of restaurants for the longest time, have always had security cameras. They've always had security cameras, throughout the stores. And because they've had those, they're able to look back on them and see exactly what has happened. Whether it's robberies or whatever the case may be, they always look back and see what happened. And, here's what's interesting. Here's what's interesting about that. You see, they don't only look and see, what mischief the employees might get, into, because you go on YouTube and other places, you see a lot of, employees doing the craziest stuff, behind the scenes at restaurants, like in the kitchen areas and things. But the other reasons they do it is to see what the customers are up to. And one of the things that's become very noticeable, obviously, and this is one of the reasons I think McDonald's is doing this, one of the things that's become very noticeable is customers going in, asking for a glass of water, getting a glass of water, and then either sitting down in the restaurant, waiting for it to get busy, and then after they notice it's gotten so busy that basically the employees are distracted, they will get up from where they're sitting, or they'll go back in from being out, in the shade, next to the restaurant. They'll go inside and they will sneak themselves, a free cup of soda. They will do that. They will go out and they will do that. And this is why I believe McDonald's, is making this decision. Now, I get it. It's a very unpopular decision. But being someone that used to work for a fast food restaurant, the rival to McDonald's back in the early to mid-2000s in Lawrence, Kansas, and someone that actually got trained to change the fountain drinks when they got empty, certain ones got empty. Again, I can understand where they're coming from because, believe it or not, those little, whatever they are, those little refill tanks or refill boxes, containers of the soda drink that, you have to replace when it, falls empty. Those things, which are, let me see if I can find an example here. I don't know if I can find a good example. But those things, they're like about this size, maybe about this size, just a little bit bigger. You add another one of these here on top. Okay, you add another one of these on top. All right. And basically they're about this size in a box, of course. And what we have to do is go over to the machine, open up the cabinet where it's stored at, unscrew it, take out the empty container, put in the new refill, screw it back in, shut the door, and then take the empty one and throw it out. And you want to know how much those might cost? You want to know how much those might cost? Probably hundreds of dollars, which amount on a weekly, if not daily basis, to maybe the thousands, if not the millions. Probably mostly the hundred thousands, kind of say. Maybe now up to almost to the 500,000, but you get the idea. Those cost a lot on a daily, if not weekly, daily, weekly ratio, if you will, to have. They cost a lot, which is why sometimes when you go and you find out, this, this fountain drink is out of order, it's not because, the drink, like the switch, the mechanism is malfunctioning. No. It's mainly because they are out of that drink right now. And they have to buy that drink and get it shipped to them, and that costs a lot of money. So as crazy as that sounds, that is one of the primary reasons I think they're doing this. They're doing it mainly not just because strategically it financially gets them money, because they know people are not going to want to get up, go to the counter, and have to wait in line to get a fountain, get a refill and everything, charge or no charge, which, by the way, is going to be an option that the McDs corporation is going to give all the individual restaurants. Like, hey, if you want to charge, that's up to you. That's your choice. I don't think that's going to happen because they got too much bad publicity right now in the eyes of a lot of folks. I don't think they'll do that. But point is, basically, basically, again, this is one of the other reasons outside of the strategic, strategy of getting people to buy the larger meals with the larger drinks attached to them, because they know they're not going to want to get up and have to refill a drink all the time unless maybe it's for the kid. But honestly, though, the other reason that I'm trying to get to is because of what I said. It's because of the fact that they will check the security cameras, because they do that on a daily, if not weekly basis, and if not monthly basis. They will check the security cameras, and they will see, honestly, that a lot of customers that go in there and, go to, let's say, the left side of the counter, like right here, and they will say, hey, can I get a cup of water? Get that cup of water. Either go to a table, drink it, relax a little bit, wait till it gets busy, and then when they notice it's getting very busy, what do? That's when they take their opportunity, go over to the fountain area, get themselves some ice, pour themselves a cup of free Coca-Cola or Fanta, and then put the lid back on, and they will exit out the door next to them. Or they'll go out the way they came in, as carefully as they can. Or they do it, and like I said, they go outside, wait in the shade a little bit, start noticing it's getting busy, go back in, and go steal themselves a free, soda drink of Coca-Cola, Fanta, Mountain Dew, you name it, and then leave. Go out the exit door next to the, drink area, or again, go out the way they came in very carefully. And you can't tell me, like I said, that the corporations like McDonald's, on a weekly, daily, if not monthly basis, when they check the security cameras, you can't tell me that doesn't piss off, the higher-ups of the regional, national, and international areas, or the regional, national, international divisions. You can't tell me it doesn't piss those higher-ups off, I should say. It doesn't piss those higher-ups off. You can't tell me it doesn't. And by being pissed off, word gets, all the way to the higher-ups of the overall corporation worldwide, the be-all, end-alls, if you will. And you can't tell me it doesn't piss them off hearing from the regional and national and international managers, bosses, if you will. You can't tell me it doesn't piss them off, especially the chairman of the overall shebang of McDonald's, You can't tell me it pisses them off because, like I said, and just my assumption, based on experience, on a weekly, if not monthly basis, trying to buy and have in stock those refillable tanks or containers for the fountain that contains the drinks, those cost like thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not $500,000 to have. And even though you might say, well, it's only a small cup of soda, it shouldn't mean anything. Here's the thing, though. Every day, even right now as I'm recording this, every day somebody is pulling hey, can I get a glass of water stunt just so they can sneak in later on and get themselves a free drink of a soda. And some people even do this throughout the day. Some people will come in, unbeknownst to the employees, without them noticing because maybe they're too busy, and they will go in and they will still have the cup they were given for the water, and they will refill it with a soda. They will do that. And this is especially true when it comes to the homeless. The homeless will go in, ask for the cup, whatever it might be, to be refilled, with water or whatever the case may be. Or if they have a little bit of money on them, they might say, hey, can I get a small, what would it be? A small coffee or something like that. They might ask, hey, can I get a small coffee, right? So they'll get a refill for the coffee, in the container. Well, I wouldn't say small coffee, but still, they say, can I get my thing refilled with coffee, right? So they'll go in, and if it's allowed, they'll pay with what money they have, or they've scrounged up, get the coffee into the container, and then they'll walk off, right? They will walk off. But then, later on, they'll notice, because obviously the homeless do this, in my opinion. They'll stake out certain areas, and they'll start noticing, okay, this is getting busy, that's getting busy, might be my opportunity. So what do you think they do? What do you think the homeless do? They go into that same restaurant knowing that it's busy and nobody's noticing them. They'll go in either through the same entrance they went in prior to get their coffee earlier in the day, or through the other entrance exit, on the other side of the restaurant, which is close to the fountain, self-serving fountain. And what they'll do without being noticed is they'll go over, I don't want to use that as an example, but they'll go over, put the thing in, ooh, didn't want to do that. But again, what I was trying to say, so I'm trying to balance this here, but they'll go over, put the thing in, under there, like that, they'll do that, if you will, they'll go over and do that, and they'll refill it with soda. They'll refill it with soda, or they'll refill it with tea, after they put a little ice in it. And then what do? They shut the lid, and then they head right for that exit entrance door they came in, especially if it's near the fountain. That's what they will do. And again, you cannot tell me that checking the security cameras daily, weekly, if not monthly, it doesn't piss off the regional, national, and international managers, and by extension, gets to the higher ups in charge of the whole shebang. You can't tell me it pisses them off, because it does. Because what that means is, even though some might say, oh, it's insignificant, it doesn't mean much, to them, it means they're losing money. It means sooner or later, throughout that day, if that keeps up, if not throughout that week, if that keeps up, they got to refill that thing. And the more they refill it, the less, backup, the less refills they have in storage. And thus, they got to pay again for more refills to be delivered. And that is something that if you're somebody in business, especially if you're running a business like McDonald's, you do not want to do, because even though you might think, oh, it's not going to make a dent in the wallet, it's still a significant amount of money to have to spend. Because again, like I said, it could be in the thousands, 100,000, 500,000 they have to spend. And it's all because of the fact that you have people that will go, and heck, they'll even have cups like this, mugs like this, and they'll put it under and get a free refill of soda to take with them. And and that costs money. And basically, even though it may not seem like much, it's a lot of money that's being given away for free. And corporations like McDonald's are not going to just stand by and let that happen. You know that. I know that. Everybody watching and listening to this knows that. So to me, being someone that used to work at Burger King, for 4.5 years, I think it was 3.5 or 4.5 years, in Lawrence, Kansas, and having to do all that, for someone that used to sell drinks and refill the drinks and all that, I can understand. And as a customer, I notice it too. I notice it too that people will do that. When I would go to the McDonald's in Turlock before and after work, and maybe even during lunch, I would notice a bunch of bikes, not a bunch of bikes, but some bikes of homeless, around there. I would notice homeless going in there, and they would get a glass of water, but then later on I would see those same homeless go in during busy hours, and they would go and get themselves a free soda without there being knowledge of the employee. And the same with Walmart. When I used to work at the Walmart here, in Patterson, there was a McDonald's across the street. Go there before and after lunch. Guess what? Same thing. Well, not after lunch, but go there before and after work, I should say. It's early as I'm recording this. I do apologize. But basically, I would, go in there before and after work, get something to eat if I had time, and I would notice the same thing. So I'm not surprised. Whatsoever. And by the way, it's 8:35 a.m. That's why I kind of messed up a little bit there. Like I said, it's early. But like I said, I'm not surprised that McDonald's is doing this. Now, is it going to be very popular with a lot of the folks? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's not going to be popular. And any restaurant that does this, fast food mainly, it's not going to be very popular. Because you're supposed to give the customers what they want. And doing something like this is not giving them, what they want. You're basically taking away from them. But here's the thing. As much as you might criticize McDonald's for the increase in prices and everything, and that's you have a right to do that. The point is, you can't blame them for what they're doing right now. You can't. Because one, again, it's all due to the fact that you have people going in there, some maybe even teenagers after school, saying, "Hey, can I get a glass of water?" And then when they notice things are getting busy, they'll sneak themselves, a drink of, they'll sneak themselves a free cup of soda. Like they'll dump the water out into the fountain area, get themselves a soda, and leave. It's like, really? You don't want to pay for like $1.39 or something like that? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But anyway, it's due to stuff like that. It's due to other regular people, that might work a good 9 to 5, 8 to 4 job that do it. And of course, it's the homeless situation that doesn't help out either that's doing it. Thus, again, you cannot blame McDonald's for rolling out this initiative. You can't. You can't do this because this has been going on for decades, if you will. Ever since self-serving fountain platforms, became an institution in fast food restaurants. So you can't blame McDonald's for rolling this out and wanting to do this. I don't blame them, and I don't think you can blame them. Now, do I think it might be something that lasts forever? No. Do I think it'll make it through its 10-year period of doing so? No. I think sooner rather than later, and we're starting to see the effects of it, or starting to see kind of the criticism of it, I think before we hit the 5-year mark of this, McDonald's is going to basically take back the decision. But what they're going to do, I think, is they're going to end up having people, in that area. They're going to have people in that self-serving area at all times. Like, I'm not saying security, but I'm talking more along the lines of, people that might walk the floor every, 10 minutes or every 15 minutes to ensure people don't pull stuff like this. So I can see them doing something like that. And I also see them, like I say, retracting their decision probably before the 5-year mark, of this initiative rolls out. No matter what they say they're not going to change, the plans to roll this out. Yeah, they might want to take those words and, put them, they might want to take those words and store them away for safekeeping because there's a good chance they're going to change their minds, over time because of criticism. Excuse me now, because of criticism. Now, can I see other restaurants following suit? Maybe. Maybe I could. Maybe I could. Maybe I couldn't. But we'll have to see. But let me know what your thoughts are on this. How do you feel about it? Do you kind of agree with some of the reasonings that I feel that McDonald's is doing this for? Let me know. Comment down below as well as in the live chat during the premiere, which, by the way, Superchats are open. They are open should you want to help donate that way in the live chat during the premiere. And Super Thanks are open as well during the premiere and after. Also, check out my affiliated stores and even my Teespring store for merchandise you can get nowhere else, or you might be able to get, there through a link, to the store that might have it. But again, guys, let me know what your thoughts are on this. Let me know. And until then, I'm out.